Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! That is by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the...
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. Sir, you found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got it?
Reddit did to do and welcome into more important issues. It is Wednesday, July 22nd. We're ready to go. I'm fired up.
I got my swagger back.
I got my swagger back. That's absolutely right. We're back for another great episode. It's always good to be back. Man in the man cave. Here on Twitter, on YouTube.
It's nice.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. Landon's on Facebook. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and drop them in here. Go ahead and start getting them in. We'll start answering them. Justin's just already said hello from Oklahoma. What's up, Justin?
He's warming up the spot for us down there in Norman.
we'll be there in September, even if there's no fans. Okay, did you see the? I think it was a Serbian soccer club or something like that. So they had to host games without fans, and they rented cranes. Like a bunch of them rented.
I saw that.
Well, not cranes, like scissor lifts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I was thinking those like police boxes in like mall parking lots. You could do that.
Are there people in those boxes?
I don't know, but maybe you could fit a couple.
I mean,
it would be like a box in Neyland.
It probably doesn't follow the social distance guidelines, but I'm in.
Yeah,
count me in.
Sure.
There are enough good news. When we travel, we'll have to rent, but there's enough cranes around UT Stadium right now that we don't have to rent.
Yeah, we couldn't find any a couple years ago, but now they're all over it.
That's absolutely right. That's what we're doing. That's how we're watching football this season. We have to watch it live. Landon's already said we're tailgating.
Yeah, we're tailgating.
So that's
tailgating.
happening. That's happening. We're gonna preview Alabama today, guys. So we're also talking about what about all these Vols getting on a award watch list? Does that scare you?
Yeah, all of it scares me. I mean, even if we had all 5 stars ranked number 1 in the country, I mean that's scary. If we have no expectations, that's scary. That's scary.
That's true. That the no expectations might be scarier than the expectations.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk about some of those preseason awards. Did I give Smaglia a new name today?
What did you say?
Swaglia.
Swaglia. I like it.
I mean, that dude has more swag than anybody on the team. You can't convince me otherwise. Trey Smith with the cowboy hat's pretty swag.
Yeah, that's pretty swag.
But any kicker that's willing to fight a D1 defensive lineman, he's gold in my book. Yeah, gold in my book.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get his swagger back because it never left.
It's never left. Then we're going to talk about some recruiting news. Tennessee basketball back on campus. You love to see it. John Fulkerson rocking some facial hair. Did he hit puberty while he was gone?
I feel like every year he's got something new about him.
The long hair is back. He cut his hair. Now it's not as long as it was before, but
well, then
he's got some Taylor's
headband John and
yeah,
he's always got something going on.
Right.
He's keeping everybody on their toes.
I like it. Yeah, and at that rate, Cal's never going to be able to guard him.
No, he's trembling in his socks right now.
Not exactly. Then we've got some talking about the hype. Actually, gonna talk about it a little bit. I don't know.
It makes me nervous.
Yep. And then we're gonna talk about the most popular thing to talk about on Vol Twitter, the interview, as Landon has labeled it. We actually had Chris Weather on here a few weeks ago for an episode of Vol Tales, and really enjoyed talking with him. Great talk about his experience at UT and how he got there and what he's doing now. A lot going, it was good to talk to him. I don't have anything personal against him. The conversations I've had with him, seems like a great dude.
Yeah.
And any of this that I say today definitely won't change that, because you can disagree with people and still like them. Yeah. Where people may not have you believe that. And some things I'm glad he said, because a bunch of people have said it's stuff people want to know that's going on in the program. So I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent about some of the stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, indifference is probably the right word for a lot of it.
Yep.
For me. Then we've got some questions, but like I said, if you didn't get your question in time, no fear. Go ahead and drop them in the chat anytime. We'll answer them. Maybe not right away. Some of them we'll get to right away, but maybe we're going to talk about them here in just a minute. So just hang on with us, and then if we don't get to them before the segment of questions, we will get to them. Don't worry about that. So
Yep.
Make sure you just hang on. And then we got some segments and a new segment.
New segment. I like it. I'm excited.
I'm pumped for the new segment. I got a picture to go along with it, and I think there's enough pictures of this that I can do a new one each time we do the segment. So that's the good news.
Oh yeah, like I literally just typed in a random date and it popped up.
Oh, did you like? I guess you could go back weeks, but I think going forward, I'll explain it. Well, I'll explain when we get to it.
Okay.
Let's before we jump into the show though, Landon's gonna tell you guys about a few sponsors. Before he does that though, go to volunteerroadshow.com tonight. Sign up for an account. Bobby Catfish has already started giving away stuff, so make sure you go sign up so you can get entered into some drawings to win some free gear, free money, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Go check out our sponsors, Hound Dogs and Tennessee Tap House. Go get you some Vols gear. You can't enter into 2020 and not have new Vols gear. So go do that. Check out Tennessee Tap House. They got a great selection there, a great hangout place, and they're safe.
Yeah.
Got to be safe, but great place to hang out. So go do that. Like Caleb said, go or create that account. Also, like this. Like it, share it, retweet it, get it out there a little bit, get people involved. We like interacting with everybody, so go do that. We also have a question. David Newcomb said, will we get Kennedy Chandler on the basketball team? It's looking like it.
The guys who claim to be experts are saying yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's good news.
Right. Yeah. I think
seven crystal balls. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's up to 7.
Yeah, I think that's him moving to Kansas and away from Memphis. That kind of puts me at ease a little bit.
Right.
And then his top 10, it's not like Kansas is in his top. So
right.
I think that helps. And Tennessee's right in the thick of things.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. I feel good about it. I mean, we'll see. You never know until they put pen to paper. Honestly, he can even commit, and I'm not necessarily bought into it yet.
Yeah.
But it looks good right now.
I'm interested to see who if he brings anybody with him.
That would be interesting to see too. Or is there anybody big? Because he's going to like an academy in Kansas, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is random for there to be an academy in Kansas.
Yeah,
is there anybody big there?
I don't think anybody big is there. I think he's the number one player in Kansas, but it's the place where Buddy Hield went to school at.
Okay, yeah, I do remember you saying that now.
So I don't know any. That's one big rum, but yeah, I don't really know who else is on that team.
I don't know if we've talked about it on this show. Did you see where Mike Miller is now coaching at a high school in Memphis?
I did.
I think is it East Memphis or is it another one?
I don't know.
Pass. Okay. I was just curious. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because he was only on Memphis' staff for a year, right?
Or 2
maybe 2.
Yeah,
he was there
maybe
when Penny first. Maybe. You may be right. Just thought that was interesting. I guess let's go ahead and get into Alabama preview. Unless anybody's got any more questions, drop them quick. Forever hold your peace. You're not typing 50 words a minute. You lost. Sorry. Alabama preview. I'll be honest. After reading about them, I think everybody after last year, it was like Alabama's vulnerable. That Alabama's not the great Alabama they were just a few years ago. Feeling good. After reading about them, and especially their defense, parts of their defense, I'm like, man, we really caught them at a good time last year.
Oh yeah, that was. It seemed like our chance. Alabama's Alabama still. They're going to reload every single year.
Right.
Even like people were poking fun that I think Tulsa at one point was ahead of them in recruiting, and now they're like the number
2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think they're number 2 ahead of North Carolina too.
Yeah. So they're just still Alabama.
So here's something crazy before we get into this Alabama team. Last year was their first time. So 2019 season was their first time since 2013 that they haven't played in a national championship or an SEC championship. And then before that, 2010 was the first time.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy. Auburn was the reason for both of the times they didn't go. In 2013, the crazy thing about 2013, that was the kick 6. They were a penalty away from probably playing in both.
Or just a few feet from just kicking it.
Or, out of the end zone.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy that they were that away from playing for a national championship or an SEC championship for 9 years straight.
That's
One
insane.
or the other.
That's insane.
Yeah. It just, that goes to show you like how a lot of people, and it's fun to poke fun at Tennessee that they've gotten the crap kicked out of them by Alabama for going on 12 years now. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, the entire country's getting the crap kicked out of them by Alabama. So
yeah, I mean, I was reading some stuff, and they were talking about how last year was a disappointment. They went 11-2. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's.
It shows you Auburn's about the only team that can claim they weren't getting the crap kicked out of them, but there were also a few years that they did get the crap kicked out of them. So,
yeah.
Auburn did get their number a couple times, but you're talking about one of those times being the year Auburn got about as lucky as you can.
Yeah.
That was the same year as the Miracle at Jordan Hare, wasn't it? Or the Prayer at Jordan Hare, whatever they call it.
Yeah, they beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like they had something crazy happen early on in the season, too.
Yeah,
everybody knows it.
They're just destined.
Right, one of those teams. Yep. Because that wasn't a phenomenal. I mean, that Auburn team was good, but they were not the Cam Newton Auburn team from a few years prior.
And that's why they got beat.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think all they had Nick Marshall and Trey Mason.
Yeah. But getting into this Alabama team, they do lose a little bit. I mean, they did play kind of, and we talked about this with a couple players at Tennessee that left for whatever reason, but they did lose Tua, which is probably their biggest loss. You could probably argue Ruggs or Judy, but probably the biggest one's Tua, especially when you talk about what they return in at wide receiver. Tua, but they did play a lot with him. And then I was reading an article, I can't remember who wrote it, this a couple days ago, that said Mac Jones is probably feeling blessed that he didn't have to go through spring practice because he may have lost his job to Bryce Young had he. Yeah. So right now he's going to go into fall camp as a starter, probably starts the year as a starter instead of getting beat out. Or I guess at least Bryce Young closing that gap in the season. Mm-hmm. But I think by the time I would be surprised if by the time Tennessee sees him, Bryce Young isn't playing at least. Or given a chance.
And Mac Jones, I mean, he struggled against Tennessee, but that was a game he was just thrown in there after Tua got hurt. But the rest of that season, it was kind of smooth for him.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the losses on there were outside of probably Auburn. I mean, the LSU loss is probably a given, honestly, with the way LSU was playing. I think, wasn't that the week after? Or did Tua play that game? I can't remember when Mississippi State happened.
Yeah, I think they played LSU.
Before Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mac Jones didn't even play in the LSU game. But yeah, when you look at the back half of their schedule, it really wasn't that Mac Jones had to play in. It wasn't terrible for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily...
He didn't play against LSU.
Okay. I don't necessarily think they're in a hurry to replace Mac Jones because, like you said, it wasn't an atrocious season by him by any means. But I think the expectations of Bryce Young, I don't know. We'll see. He's a freshman. We'll see. He hasn't played college football yet. Kind of the same thing as Harrison Bailey. He has just as much water to hold as Harrison Bailey.
Yeah, that's the... If you're nitpicking Alabama, their struggle looks to be at quarterback because it's either Mac Jones, who, did not want any part of that Tennessee defense after that game, or a true freshman. So you get one of the two. I mean, yeah, Bryce Young has that 5-star. He was the number 1 rated quarterback per somebody. But it's still not Tua.
No. Tua is Tua. I mean, if Bryce Young, could he be that? Sure, I guess. I mean, could he? I guess. But there's a reason, what's the younger brother's Tagovailoa's name?
Talia.
Yeah. There's a reason he transferred. I'll say that.
Right.
He knew what was ahead of him and what was coming in.
Yeah.
So there's a reason he transferred. So I'm not saying Bryce Young isn't the guy or anything, or I'm not saying he is the guy, but there's something to him. There is. Yeah. That's the bottom line. We'll see what happens. Either whatever quarterback's in there though is going to have a ton of help when you look at who they return at receiver, and then Najee Harris.
Yeah. So they lose Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, but they get Devontae Smith and who's
Jalen Waddle. And Devontae Smith was their leading receiver last year.
Yeah, in yards and touchdowns.
Yeah. So, 20 touchdowns.
14.
So I guess it was 20. Oh, that's Najee Harris had 20 touchdowns total. Yeah. I think 13 rushing, 7 receiving.
Yeah, so they have, I mean, next, and they also return, you mentioned Najee Harris, Alex Leatherwood, Dylan Moses, who, and Patrick Surtain, those 4 guys right there are first-round draft picks.
Right. And I did mention their defense is, a little more concerning if the guys stay healthy. Because a lot of the guys they lost last year, I think they lost DJ Dale and LeBron Ray to injury. I think Ray sat out like 10 games last year.
They're
was he the one that got injured against LSU?
They're playing 3 true freshmen at one point.
Right. And they do lose a lot in the secondary, though. That's why I said, they do scare me to an extent. I mean, they lost the
Diggs, Xavier McKinney.
One of the higher-rated safeties coming out of college football, or out of Alabama, and they do. I think everybody's starting there. I don't think there's a single returning starter in the secondary.
Surtain is the only the only one.
All right, and so that gives you a little bit of hope, but also Alabama reloads. They do. It's not a huge knock on them. You're not looking there and going, oh, there's a 4-star, a guy you're hoping develops, or blah blah. These guys come in and they do have to develop into that talent, but Nick Saban's got a plenty good track record to do it. So I don't think you're sitting there going, well, the secondary's not going to be good. Is there a chance? Yeah, absolutely. There's a chance those guys don't pan out, or maybe there's more injuries, whatever. But I think or assume that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and they play a lot of man. I mean, look what Clemson did to them a couple years ago. I mean, they just one-on-one, Clemson's receivers just made plays and beat them down the field. So that's that if you're nitpicking Alabama, inexperience at
pretty much you have to nitpick them if you want to find something wrong.
Right, it's quarterback inexperience, or it's just not Tua,
right,
or their inexperience in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, that's about the only thing you really have on. And then Alabama special teams.
Yeah,
but outside of their returners, I think was it Waddle, who was the returner
or
all SEC.
Ruggs
was it Ruggs? I thought it was okay.
Because
Ruggs
was
a returner.
The facts,
someone returning.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Ruggs though. Was an all SEC returner. So and then you got guys like Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. I would be very, very curious to see how many yards after catch they had last year. I didn't look that up.
It's a lot.
I guarantee you a ton of yards after catch. They were catching a lot of stuff at 7 yards and going and scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
The yak was probably very good. So those guys can make plays with the ball in their hand.
Against Western Carolina, Mac Jones was 10 for 12. He had 275 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And 10 of those completions were probably, 6 of them were probably slants.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It is stupid. And that's another thing, though, too. The offensive line, they returned 4 or 5 starters. So, it's not, I mean, the offensive line is just going to get better if they can.
Right.
They're just going to get better. It's going to be tough to get pressure. And then, I mean, Alabama's not going to – they've started running all the RPO crap. They're not going to get they get all the leeway when it comes to linemen downfield. So don't even try to get it. It ain't going to happen. You're going to have to play against the guys in stripes, too. It's not that simple to try to really necessarily scheme against the RPO.
Right. I think this year, and I think this happened last year, is if you can get Alabama in the meat of their schedule, which we do.
That is a good thing.
You know, there is some. You know, they have to play USC in Dallas, and then
I thought that game has it not gotten canceled?
I
thought Pac-12 said no. I think Pac-12 said no.
I just assume like everything's like up in the air still.
I think Pac-12 said no conference games. I think right now, I saw an article where they may be playing BYU.
Okay.
In the opener now.
So I mean, BYU's they're worse than USC, but they have to play.
Are they?
I don't know what we should have beat them
last year.
Yeah,
were they worse than USC this year? Maybe.
I mean, I think
USC should get better.
I don't know. Yeah, USC should be better.
I think right now Southern Cal is still listed on their official website, Alabama's. But I thought I saw.
I don't know if it's canceled or not.
Yeah,
but I assume it was up in the air. I thought when they said like the stuff with California and everything that they were just gonna have a backup plan.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I'm trying to find. 4 days ago said Alabama can meet Notre Dame in the opener, and then 4 days ago it also said another article said report BYU and Alabama may meet in season opener. So I guess they're probably looking at playing a independent is what that means.
Okay,
maybe both of those teams open with Pac-12 or Big Ten opponents, because wasn't that the 2 conferences that have already said no?
Yeah,
out of conference games.
I don't remember who about BYU. I'm pretty sure they were on that Big Ten one that I was looking.
Gotcha. So Notre Dame had Wisconsin, Stanford, and USC on their schedule, and yeah. those have all been canceled because those games have been canceled because of the. So yeah, that means Alabama's no longer playing USC.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, they still have to play a decent opponent in
Right.
Dallas, in Jerry's world, and then the third game of the season they play Georgia. Will be a top 5 matchup probably.
Yeah, it should be. And outside of that, they shouldn't have any problem. I mean, maybe Lane Kiffin creates some issue. I mean, that's a good thing about Ole Miss and Mississippi State, I guess. I guess Arkansas gets a new coach, but there's no talent, right? There's no talent there to cause any issues.
I remember last year that Ole Miss, I mean, they got beat by LSU, but it was like close, and Ole Miss put up a lot of points. I like that John Plumlee, Plumlee,
I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
Well, I mean, so is that the good thing about getting a guy like Lane Kiffin, who you know is probably going to at least scheme a good game? Maybe he gives Alabama a good check, and then talk about a guy like I'm blanking on his name, Mike Leach at Mississippi State. That's going to at least make you defend him all game.
Yeah,
like, he's going to throw up points.
Yeah, with the inexperienced secondary, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think you got to get. I don't know. Last year it seemed like that was our time to get over the hump, and we took matters into our own hands, I guess. And but Jeremy Pruitt's gonna have it seems like he has a different gear when he faces Alabama.
I think last year the Alabama game was the turning point for him of I'm the effing head coach at Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
and it's at home. I don't know if that it might not help us much this year, but it doesn't hurt us. It is a home game. I don't know.
Kind of sucks that this home game probably is not going to be played in front of any fans or not many fans, and you're kind of thinking
we're on the verge of not catching up, but being like right there competitive with Alabama.
It's very obvious in what Jeremy Pruitt said at halftime and what he said after the game, and I think even said the next week at South Carolina or after South Carolina that Jeremy Pruitt was not happy with the coaching staff, the officiating, and he's the head coach, so you know the team feels that way.
Yeah.
So they were gonna come in with a little bit of fire, I'm sure, not just against Alabama, but like against the SEC officials. Against, I would have been very excited to see what a 102,000 crowd could have done, at least for a half. For the first half.
If there's a true freshman quarterback, you think that doesn't make a difference? It does.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate that you just got to live with that, but
maybe it motivates them even more. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Or maybe Alabama's used to like all eyes on them all the time, that they're just like thrown off.
Maybe. The bet said Pac-12 went conference only. Thank you. I couldn't remember it, honestly. I second guessed myself. I guess I shouldn't have. And then Sports Living in the ATL said, "Hey, I'm here because of Carter." What's up, man?
What's up?
Sports Live in the ATL. I don't know what I said.
But I think
good to have you.
To beat Alabama, you're going to have to rattle whoever the quarterback is. You have to get some kind of pass rush.
And I think
that's difficult because that's a question mark going into the season.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I think that's part of what made Mac Jones ineffective. You've seen, I mean, you saw, and I realize Mac Jones is not or Jalen Hurts, but you saw a couple years ago where they just rolled quarterbacks in and out of there at the end of the season in the SEC championship game and the college football playoff, and they went off without a hitch. So Alabama usually does not have a problem. I shouldn't say usually because that's very rare for Nick Saban to do that. But then you go back to, was it Lane Kiffin's last year at Alabama when they had that quarterback controversy at the beginning of the year, and then Blake Barnett eventually.
Blake Sims.
Blake Sims.
Blake Barnett.
Who's Blake Barnett? I don't know. That name sounded right. Eventually transferred at the beginning of the year, and they had no problems moving quarterbacks in and out. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily an issue for him.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the things that like you want to nitpick Alabama about, it's things like Tennessee doesn't have a for sure like, oh, we're going to be good at that, like getting a pass rush.
Right.
Also, inexperienced secondary. We don't really know what the wide receivers group's going to look like, so that's kind of an issue. So I mean, yeah, looking back, like when we were talking about the 4 games, like which one do we think Tennessee has a better chance at? I thought Alabama would be higher up there, but now I'm thinking like that's probably our hardest game.
Right.
When I did a little bit of research on them.
Yeah, I felt good, I guess, kind of looking back at last year and looking at what Tennessee gained and Alabama lost. And I knew kind of what I vaguely knew what Alabama gained just because you know what they gain every year relatively. But yeah, I felt better. And then I read and I was like, I don't feel good because I think everybody expected Ruggs and Judy to be the best wideouts. Turns out that's, probably the case, but not technically the case.
Yeah, there's two just
as good.
Yeah.
And so that makes you feel. And then you talk about the guys that they didn't even have on defense when Tennessee saw them last year. You're like, man, that sucks. So it is what it is. And I don't think Tennessee's out of it by any means. It's just going to be it's going to take a lot of. It's one of those games that Tennessee's going to have to do a lot right, and Alabama's going to have to do a lot wrong for it to happen.
To smoke those cigars.
Yeah. Wouldn't it kind of suck for this to be the year? Like, we wouldn't get to smoke a cigar in Neyland.
That would suck.
Would tattoo shops be open for me to go get my ass tat?
Oh, yeah. You just got to wear a mask on your ass.
It's a Nard pup. Yeah, it's one of those. So, I don't know. We'll see. You know what? Here's the thing. When it comes down to when October 23rd rolls around, no matter how I felt that week, no matter how Tennessee played against South Carolina, on October 23rd, that night, I'll be drinking, probably smoking a cigar, just so my lungs are ready. And someone's going to go, Caleb, how do you feel about tomorrow? And I'm going to, without hesitation, tell you that Tennessee's going to win. So
I got to get my lungs. I've never smoked a cigar in my life. So I'm wondering if I should just save that. Or should I start smoke?
No, you have to save that.
Okay.
If I could go back and someone was like, you shouldn't smoke a cigar until Tennessee beats Alabama, first of all, I'd be like, I never get to smoke. That sucks. But, yeah, I'd wait. Definitely. Okay. Yeah. Sports Live in the ATL, he said he's checking us out. He asked if we're Braves fans. I'm not. I'm not much of a baseball fan. If I have to claim one team, I'd claim the Cubs.
Yeah, Chicago. What do you say?
Yeah. Probably because of the Rookie of the Year. It's probably where my brother was a Cubs fan.
Sammy Sosa.
Yeah. So that's probably it. And you're a Yankees fan.
I'm a Yankees
because
fan.
You suck.
Yeah. Because I'm the worst.
Yankees suck. Yeah, Braves are all right though. If there's a Nashville team, I will transfer my fandom because I'm a Tennessee guy. That's how I do it.
Yeah, that'd be fun to have a Nashville team.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not tied to the Braves because they're close.
No,
because Cincinnati's almost just as close.
I did watch Braves games growing up because they were on TV, kind of like Titans games, but I'm not much of a fan.
Yep.
It is what it is. Yeah, Cubs and Yankees. I know that's not a great combination for East Tennessee fans. There are a lot of East Tennessee Cubs fans, I assume, because of the Smokies. I assume
You
I don't
should
know
say
why.
that. You should use that.
I should. And I did go up there and watch. I can't remember his name now. But I've been up there to watch a couple Cubs players that are rehabbing at the Smokies when I was younger. When my brother was taking me to games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know. I guess that's the connection to. I don't know. Yeah.
The Cubs.
Yeah, NHL. Definitely Nashville. Definitely Nashville sports. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
NHL. Are you gonna watch NHL when it comes back?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it all.
So it's all playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like NHL is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
And then the MLB starts tomorrow. Yankees play tomorrow.
Starts exhibition.
No.
MLB started on.
Or what did I say?
You just said they started.
Oh,
they started.
MLB starts tomorrow.
Actual games do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was about to say exhibition was Tuesday night.
NBA, they're starting exhibitions today, I think, and then
They have a game Thursday.
the 30th is when they start their season.
Oh, I guess I did an exhibition game then, or maybe have to wait till the 30th. I did a FanDuel, fantasy team for Thursday night.
Yeah, it'd be next Thursday. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well that sucks. I have to wait till Thursday. But it was like $4.
Yeah, I think it's the 30th. That's Thursday, right?
Or maybe they do maybe they're doing fantasy for exhibition games. I have no idea. Yeah, we pretty much just talk college sports. When it's NFL season, we're primarily football. When it's NFL season, we'll talk some NFL. And then if there's I guess there's big news around
talk
sport.
about that.
We'll talk about big news around sports all the times, but mainly Tennessee college football. That's our wheelhouse.
Yep.
We're professionals, okay? Put it that way.
We've done this a time or two.
Yeah. Anything else for the Alabama before first off, Anything else about the Alabama team? Because I do have a couple questions regarding the Alabama game.
I just hate the whole state of Alabama.
Yeah, I'll have to remind me to do the outro to We Don't Give a Damn.
Okay.
Okay, so Alabama will have played 7 games, 4 SEC opponents. By the time we see them, record 7-0.
Yeah.
I think so. 7, I think could be 7-0, 6-1. Georgia could be a hiccup. I think that could create
Is
a
it
hiccup.
at Georgia?
It is in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
But there's no fans. Home field isn't going to be much.
Right.
Yeah, not much. Sports Live said he shared it, and we're Titans fans. Yeah, I'm a Titans fan. I guess you're a Carolina fan.
Yeah, I'm Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep up with the Titans. I don't know.
Again, I think the Titans is one of those things kind of similar to the Braves. I think there would be a lot more Braves fans in the area if they were really good.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like if the Falcons were really good, I think you'd even see more Falcons fans in Knoxville because they're Atlanta. I think Atlanta at least used to be on TV a lot in this area.
The Braves or the Falcons?
The Falcons, sorry.
Yeah,
The Braves still are.
Yeah, they're on like the NFC South, but a lot of the Falcons I think are considered regional, so they black them out.
Yeah,
which is so dumb.
That's not as much of a problem anymore with the streaming.
Yeah, right.
It used to be though. Back a couple years ago. Okay, so Alabama 7-0, 6-1. You going Tennessee to win? Are you going to convince yourself on July 22nd that Tennessee's going to beat Alabama?
No.
Okay, I'm not either. I'm waiting until October 23rd.
Yeah, I'll wait.
They do play LSU the next week. Maybe some heads peeking forward for a revenge game.
Ooh, I like that.
That's that's going to be the talk of that week.
Oh yeah.
It is. So that's exciting. We got that going for us.
Yeah, anything that we can like put in Tennessee's favor, we're gonna do it.
And then does Tennessee have a bye week? The week before again? Did we get lucky again? We do.
We do.
We do.
So we have a bye week before Alabama?
Yes. They play Mississippi State. Then us, and then LSU. I love that. Is this the most friendly schedule yet? And then we're gonna go to a 10-game SEC schedule, and they're gonna schedule us LSU and Ole Miss, and we just got effed.
Dang, they play LSU at Baton Rouge too.
Yeah.
Woo!
Tennessee plays Arkansas the next week. We should just go to that game. Oh no, they're bye weeks. No, we play Kentucky. You gotta be here for the Kentucky game. Can't go to Death Valley for that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a home game.
Yeah. Nothing we can do.
Yep.
If it was the week of the Arkansas game, I would be telling us to let's go to Death Valley for that. Even if we don't get to go to the game,
It'd be a night game, and Tennessee would probably get a noon slot.
Tennessee be at noon. We could watch that game at a tele. And everyone would be pissed. Why are we watching a Tennessee game? A Tennessee versus Arkansas game.
Eat some crawfish.
I'd love nothing more.
Preseason awards.
Preseason award, dude, rolling off. It's awesome. You love to see it.
Dude, let's start with some Henry To'o because that's
I've got to stop. We got to stop making graphics for him until like the season starts.
until
He's just gonna have to keep making
all the
them.
award watches are done.
No, there's no point.
He was added to the Butkus Award, which is given to the nation's top linebacker, and then he was added to the Nagurski. Is that how you say it? Nagurski Trophy, which is given to the best defensive player, and I think that's voted on by the Football Writers Association of America. I think that's right.
Right.
And then he was also added.
I don't know
to the
why I
Benaric-
said right. I was agreeing with you, but it made me sound like I was telling you you're correct. I think you're right.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I appreciate it. Sticking with me. I like it. But he's also added to the Bednarik. We already mentioned that on the last show. Man, they just keep rolling in for the kid.
And it makes sense.
I mean, he's the only one in the country.
The only one like named all three of these?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, so Alabama, I think it was the Butkus Award, had 3 linebackers named to it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. 3 award watch list.
I typed in Lou
Groza?
Groza Award. And
Groza.
there was like 85 accounts that said their place kicker had been added to the award.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many is on these award watches?
I'm sure a lot. And then they have a preseason. They have like a mid-season one too. I think Henry Toto was named to a mid-season one last year, or maybe it was Batuli. Somebody was added to a mid-season one last year.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know how many are named. I don't know if they even have like a number. If they look like they are good enough to maybe potentially be on this watch list at the end of the season. We'll throw them on there. I don't know how that works. I do know that Brent Samaglia didn't win it last year, and I think he was.
He had better
statistically-
stats than better than Goggle Dog, but I don't think Goggle Dog won.
Didn't win it. I don't think Samaglia had better stats than the winner of the Lou Groza. I can look it up, but I know he had better. So Goggle Dog was the winner, or was the first team All SEC.
Okay.
And he did have better stats than him, but there was another kicker, A&M, I don't know, somebody that had better stats than both of them. Okay. And then whoever won the Lou Groza, like Samaglia was like top 5, I think, last year in like percentage, and I'm almost positive he was second in field goals over 50% or 50 yards.
Kicker you, baby.
Yeah.
So he was added to the Lou Groza Award, which is given to the nation's best place kicker. What'd you call him? Swaglia?
So I even put on Instagram, I put C-Mag, Automaglia, or Swaglia.
Swaglia.
Whatever you want to call him. I think all those are fitting.
Yeah, I like automatically.
Oh, Blankenship did Blankenship win? It says he's a finalist.
Yeah, I think he was a finalist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Cade Mays and Trey Smith were named to the Outland Trophy watch list given to the best interior lineman in college football.
Dude, it makes you... I mean, would they be naming him to this if he wasn't going to be? Dude, he did win the Lou Groza. That's stupid.
He did?
He won it by default, right?
Yeah, because he's Goggle Dog.
That's stupid.
Yeah, that's...
I'm sorry, if you miss a game-winning kick, I don't care the situation, you should immediately be marked off the list. That's your entire job as a kicker. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying... But that's your job.
Yeah, and you made him lose to South Carolina.
And you made him lose to South Carolina. I understand what it's like to be a kicker. I will almost always side with kickers. But you shouldn't be allowed to win the award. And I'm not saying, and you shouldn't be allowed to win it if you miss a game-winning field goal. That's your time to shine. That's everything you dream about. That's the only thing you dream about because you're a kicker.
It wasn't a hard kick. It wasn't like a...
It's like a 27-yard.
Yeah, it was like a... Yeah, it was easy. It wasn't hard. I mean, I could do it, but...
You could kick a 27-yarder. Could you do it under pressure? Probably not. But you could kick a 27. That's the point. Is you could kick a 27-yarder field goal.
I'm better than Goggle. I should have won the damn award.
All right, nah. Okay, I said I'm on the side of kickers here.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to overstep my boundaries.
More about Georgia. Crimson Brave said both Bama and UGA's defense will be lights out. Agreed. But we think he means Bama. He's Crimson Brave. Says we'll be more dynamic offensively than UGA. Bama 31, UGA 17. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do think that JT Daniels being eligible makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have time to mesh with that offense.
Yeah.
And the third game of the season, that's quick.
Yeah.
To face that, Alabama.
I don't disagree with that statement, but I do think JT Daniels makes it more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Any more preseason words?
I think we got all of it. I mean, dude, like all these. Cade Mays, Henry To'oTo'o getting these awards. I mean, I don't remember a time where he got this many award watches.
I'd say there was a time, but not recently.
Yeah, right.
Not recently. I'd love to see.
I just like how it seems like Pruitt's able to develop talent, and then he's able to get talent in here.
That's my hope.
For right now, he hasn't proved me wrong yet. He hasn't proved me wrong yet. Recruiting news. And get some recruiting.
Let's do it.
So, Tennessee, their 3-star defensive line commit, Isaac Washington, had a tweet. And it was when he recommitted. So, he decommitted after Tracy Rocker left. Jimmy Brumbaugh took over, and he actually came on a visit and then recommitted to Tennessee. And he put out a tweet the other day that said it was the best decision he had ever made, and he wasn't going anywhere. So just reaffirmed, in case you were wondering.
We were.
I know Auburn was kind of that snake in the grass a little bit. Charlie Gardner was trying to get another defensive lineman out of Tennessee's yard, but didn't. Take that. Didn't go to his basketball game. And then 3-star offensive tackle William Parker out of Pearl Cone in Nashville will make his decision September 4th. Tennessee's in the top schools with him, kind of Tennessee-Alabama battle. But Alabama recently got some twins that are like 4 and 5 stars. So
who are their parents?
their last name's like Brockmeyer. It's like Tommy Brockmeyer, and
Are they white?
yeah,
Interesting. This entire situation is very interesting.
yeah. So he'll make his decision September 4th, and then Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, TID. You heard? Release his top 6.
Is that his nickname? Or did you just make up a nickname?
No,
for him?
I'm pretty sure people call him TID.
Okay.
I think that might be his name on Twitter is TID.
Gotcha.
But he released his top 6. Tennessee was included in that. He didn't release a date, but he said he will be committing soon.
There you go.
So Tennessee will probably be in those top 2 or 3 to land the 4-star out of South Carolina, Gaffney, South Carolina.
Gaffney, that's Justin Worley and oh man. Is that Gaffney? Is Justin Worley Gaffney?
I don't know.
If it is, that's where
Clowney?
Clowney and Patterson are from. Cordell Patterson. Can't speak. Rock Hill, South Carolina, not Gaffney. Who's from Gaffney?
I don't know.
Somebody's from Gaffney, South Carolina.
Somebody is.
There's people from Gaffney, South Carolina. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah. And then we talked about the tight end position and how it was affected after Austin Pope went down. There was a recent USC tight end that entered the transfer portal.
Was there?
There was. He's a big dude. He hasn't played the last 2 years due to injury, but he got a 6-year eligibility from the NCAA.
So while we're on that subject, what does it look like for Tennessee's scholarship limit? So probably down to like 90-ish, somewhere in that area now. What does that look like when they go out? Because they've got to find room for them. They can't.
Right.
It's not. So what does that look like?
I mean, unfortunately, it's probably like, hey, are you interested? You could be a day 1 starter pretty much.
Right.
So I don't know. I think they just try to see if they're interested first, and then I guess make it work from there. I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that looks like.
Thought you had all the answers, man.
that's a tough decision, but his name is what's there's a couple of things that make it interesting. First of all, Velus Jones Jr. obviously transferred to Tennessee this past year from USC, so he played with him, and then he's from North Gwinnett in Sewanee, Georgia. That's where Warren Burrell went to high school.
Okay.
He left Florida, so he was enrolled in Florida and then left to go to USC. Before I think he sat out that freshman year and then transferred to USC. And so he doesn't like Florida, obviously, so that's good. And then his name. I'm going to tell you his name. Daniel Matter Bebe.
Can I see it written down? I assume you have it written down?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Matter Bebe.
Yeah, that's
I've
you would have stumped me on the spelling bee of that one.
I've
For
definitely been practicing that one today. Matter Bebe. But yeah, he hasn't played the last 2 years due to injury. I think he has 3 touchdowns, in his career and like 300-something yards. Hasn't seen the field much, but hey, he's 6'3", 240. I would love to have that on our roster.
Yeah, hopefully he's, you said he's battling injury, right? That was kind of his thing. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play another year because, like you said, Tennessee desperately needs some people who will give some looks at tight end.
Yeah, we just need some ability.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I got for recruiting. Matter Bebe.
Gaffney, South Carolina. I know who's from Gaffney. President Francis Underwood from House of Cards. That's what it is. Have you watched House of Cards?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the big thing in House of Cards with his hometown, one of the big things is they have a massive, and I think it's true. I think Gaffney does have this, a big peach as its water, like it's a water tower that looks like a peach.
Oh,
So I guess they're a peach town.
that's what they're
no
known
idea.
for. Okay.
So that's how I knew that.
There you go.
Fun fact for the day. But yeah, so
What do you think about Bob Kessling trying to pronounce that?
oh no, he's actually hadn't he done like decent with some of the crazy names that we've seen lately?
Yeah,
I guess there's not
he's
been
practicing.
He's been
I'll
working
give him
on
that,
it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some hype though.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, it's been a while since even like 2016. How many of the guys were making, award watch list? And that's one of the better, when we did our all-decade team, that's where most of them came from. Like, those are the better players in the last decade in Tennessee football.
I remember in 2016 after we were at the we had just won the Music City Bowl and they're running off the field and we saw JG and we're like, that's going to be our starting quarterback next year.
Were we happy about it?
We were.
Okay.
So let me ask you. You saw JG's hype video.
The Lion King one?
Yeah. Are you believing the hype? Are you all in for it? Instead of just like believing the hype, do you think he can be the quarterback we need? Not necessarily the quarterback we want, but the quarterback we need to win football games. I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot.
I mean, if we win, if you're talking about win 8 games, yeah, I guess he could win 8 games. He can't win 10, 11 games. There's no chance. Because when you're talking about winning 10, 11 games on Tennessee's schedule, I mean, you're talking about beating Georgia or Florida or Alabama, or winning a big time bowl game against whoever else from another conference. I don't think he has the ability to do that.
Do you think anybody else does in the roster?
I mean, I don't think my opinion's right, but yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, that's
because I think a lot of the discord with JG so far. I'm not saying he couldn't fix it. I think a lot of it's mental.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a little bit of physical ability in there.
I agree.
But I think a lot of it's mental, and this is from talking to people. From what I've observed, I just don't think he has. I don't think he's a terrible football player. I don't think he doesn't have that mental thing at some point. But I think there's a lot of times that he just doesn't have the swagger, I guess is the right word.
The it factor?
I guess, to carry a team. When you're the quarterback, you're the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, if a mistake happens, it's on you. If you can't get over that fact. And the good thing about being the quarterback is you get to kind of be. I'm sure there's a lot of people that play with Peyton Manning over the years, and I use Peyton Manning because he's one of the greatest, and he could be a dick. That they're like, get off my ass, you're being a dick. But the bottom line is, it fell on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he was part of the get shit done club. And I just don't know if JG is a part of that right now. I don't know if he necessarily, and maybe. Maybe this isn't something I've ever heard, so I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't have the respect of teammates, but maybe he doesn't believe he does, and it's hard to be the guy that's going to go in there and I'm going to be the one to fix things. This is my take, and he may take ownership of it, but is he taking ownership of it in the sense of, because if it's only yours when it's good, it's not really yours. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a little bit, and I think you saw that some this past season where he was like, he would publicly say it. And I think to publicly say it, you've got to at least believe it to an extent. Yep. I don't think you could just completely put it off if you publicly say it. Now, he may go back and be like, I'll just BS that for the camera. But I think he's at least saying it. One day you're going to believe it if you keep saying it, if you don't believe it entirely already. So I think he's gotten better about it. But when you look at Georgia Tech, and I think Georgia Tech is a bad representation of him. I don't think that's him entirely because I think he fixed a lot of it. But it was very obvious Georgia Tech was, none of this is my fault. I can't do anything to fix it. It's the coach. Or, it's the incompetence of the coach.
Yep.
And he sat down instead of, here's what I'm going to do to fix it. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team win. And, because I don't think Butch Jones is smart enough to do it, but if Jerry Pruitt was the coach in 2017 and that was that, I don't know if JG's a part of the program anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely going to be fix it now or we're going to have problems.
Because
it wasn't just like put it off. It was going to be like done. Right. You're fixing it now or that's the end of you.
Jerry Pruitt seems like the kind of coach that is like, if your helmet's not on, and like I'm looking for the closest guy to me. Like, I'm going to turn around and call for you to go in, and if you're not next to me, you lost your chance. You don't have your helmet on, you lost your chance. Like, He kind of seems like that kind of coach. I could be wrong about that. I could be reading it entirely wrong. Maybe I'm probably am wrong. That's I'm used to being wrong. It's fine. It's just I just whatever the disconnect has been so far. I think a lot of it was fixed last year, but I think there's still some, and some of it's just the physical hurdle of it. I don't know if he has a fantastic arm. I don't know if he has a chance to necessarily beat guys over the top all the time. I just don't know if he has that, and that's fine. You don't have to have that to win ball games. Now it helps a ton. Look at Joe Burrow. If he couldn't have thrown the ball to those receivers that could run behind every defense in the country, how many times do they beat those defenses? Never is the answer, or rarely is the answer. Physical is part of it, but I don't think it's the entirety of it.
I think we've seen him grow at least as a leader a lot since like even the beginning of last year to the end of last year.
Right.
There was a different JG.
Right.
But like I just don't think, and this is nothing really against him. It's just I just don't think that he could go win you a football game. If time was ticking, you needed a play. I don't think he could make it. Like it. That's just a reality. Now he could throw it to somebody and they would make a play.
He's not proven that he would.
But he's not. Yeah, he's not. He does not have the it factor.
I would somewhat agree with that. I mean, and the thing is too is it takes one time to make it. To kind of change your whole mindset of it. But yeah, I would agree. I mean, I just don't. How many V plays has he made? He started to at Kentucky. He got out of the pocket, ran for a first down, kept the ball in our hands, kept the clock moving, led us to what eventually was a touchdown, winning drive. But yeah, I mean, how many times has he really made the play? Because Kentucky was a little bit different. It didn't look like, and a lot of it's swagger. I looked at the thing that I think convinced me of it, and I don't think the offensive lineman meant to throw him under the bus. I think it was Trey Smith that said this, maybe Brandon Kennedy. And I don't think they were trying to throw him under the bus, but they were like, it helps us play so much better when our quarterback carries himself with swagger.
Oh yeah,
and with a winner. It helps him to play better, and that's a lot of it. I don't know. I'm not on the field. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what's actually being said, but body language is a big factor.
Oh yeah,
body language is a huge factor for coaches, for opposing teams, for fans. If you don't carry yourself like a winner, you're convincing everybody else that's watching you that you're not a winner.
Yeah, and I don't want this to get confused with, we want JG to be that guy.
I would love for JG to be that guy.
But yeah, from what we've seen so far in his years at Tennessee, it just doesn't seem like he has the mentality to go win you football games.
Yeah, and
he can I feel like he could be perfect at managing, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you can manage a football game well enough to get it to your athletes and let them make plays, heck,
do it.
I mean, look at before Jalen Hurts was at Alabama. I mean, they had tons of average quarterbacks lead them to national championships.
Yep. How many quarterbacks does Alabama have in the league right now?
Is A.J. McCarron the only one?
Okay, sorry. Starting, or yeah.
Well, I guess Jalen Hurts is now.
Let's call it in the league. And Tua. But I mean, if you're going off the guys drafted this year, probably 3.
Yeah.
But you're talking about guys. I think A.J. McCarron has 3 national championship rings total. You're talking about guys who were winners in college, but don't have the necessarily skill set to go win a ton of games or play in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, your mentality has to be better than what your ability is.
Right.
And I just don't think his at least from what we've seen, his mentality hasn't been more than what his ability is.
No, yeah, and again, I think he gained a lot of confidence at the end of the year that could help it. You saw the Missouri game where he had 400 yards passing and kind of got crowned as the guy who won it.
But how much is that? Was it faith in Callaway and Jennings to make you plays? Guys that he was comfortable with, guys that have played with him this entire time. And then now you have a whole different group of receivers. You have Josh Palmer, but you have pretty much a whole different group of receivers.
Yep.
How is he going to respond to something that's... It doesn't seem like he's been able to overcome adversity in his career.
Yeah, and I think last season was
in a game, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'd have to really think on that. I think last year, though, was a big step for him. And that's why I'm kind of like, I might buy into the hype because at least he took steps forward. I didn't feel like the last 6 games he took any steps back. Now,
I mean, there was definitely a sense of trust.
Right.
Even if he wasn't the starter, there was a sense of trust on that coaching staff that like, hey, go in.
Yeah.
We need you. Come on. I mean, at least there was some sort of comfortable with JG in the game.
Right.
And it got better as the season went on.
Right.
Until that Alabama.
I want to buy into the hype. I know this. I'm going to trust Jeremy Pruitt when he says a player's going to help you win games. I know that. Because he said that about JG, and sure enough, he did. So I'm going to trust him when that's said. And then I'm never going to, I guess, be all out on a quarterback anymore. Because I was all out on JG after Alabama, for sure. I was probably all out on him before that. And then the dude bounced. Credit to him. Dude bounced back. Credit. I would not have blamed him for, especially in the world of college football today, I would not have blamed him for transferring that night after the Alabama game.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, I might have blamed him a couple years ago, but I wouldn't have. You know what? If it's stock, I'm buying the hype stock. Maybe not to win a lot of games, but to lead Tennessee to what they need to do in 2020.
Okay. I'll get on board with that.
And you know what? I hope, even if he gets beat out, I hope he's learned from that Georgia Tech game that you still got to be a leader. You're a senior. You're a fifth-year senior. You've been around the program for a long time. Jeremy Pruitt obviously trusts you. If you get beat out, cheer for the next guy in front of you, and if anything happens, you got to be ready to go back in.
Yeah, I mean, because it should be a short leash with JG because you have, one of the best offensive lines in the country. You have an offensive coordinator that was there last year.
Right.
Like you said, he is a fifth-year guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's put up or shut up. I mean, This is your last year.
And I mean, you could tell he grew too from Georgia Tech. I think it was it him in the tunnel with Maurer at the halftime of the Florida game? I know there was clearly JG had Maurer's back at some point. Like, it was he did something great for the team and for the cameras. They saw him support Maurer.
Yeah.
And that's part of being a leader.
So let's talk about this hype. So Phil Steele has Tennessee ranked number 20 in his preseason top 25. Does that make you nervous?
Was that the article that was written that he said 247 pretty much kind of forced him to put Tennessee in it? Who was that? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that.
So somebody wrote it and was 247 has Tennessee, I think, tied at 22nd, right? Was that right? And I think 247 even said this might be the most overrated team we have in the top 25, but the way they finish the year, blah, blah, have to put them in there. I kind of agree with that. I think
Phil still does his own.
Right.
Okay.
But
okay.
he's going to base it off other. He's going to get pull from others too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone did an article similar, but I kind of agree with 247 to an extent. I did see Phil Steele's. I don't see a reason Tennessee should be ranked outside the top 25 preseason. Now, it depends on how you do preseason. If you're doing a preseason set to how the season should finish, I don't know if I'm going to put Tennessee in my top 25 right now. If I'm doing it preseason, before week 1, Tennessee's in my top 25. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I just look at the teams behind us.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're better than them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the way they finished 2019, the way they should be in 2020, I put Tennessee in my top 25. I don't know if I'm ready to say they finished there, but I do know they're in my top 25 to start the season.
Even if you lose 4 games, you should be right around 20.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised we didn't sneak into the top 25 the way Tennessee finished.
Yeah,
previous year.
I agree with that. It makes me nervous, just because there is that expectation. But I want to get back to where every game that we play, we're in the top 25.
Yeah,
this is a top 25 matchup. I want to be. I want people to be excited when we come to their stadium, and not just because it's Tennessee. It's because this is a top 25 team. We need to beat them.
Right.
I want that. I want every matchup to mean something.
All right, I agree.
And so he is. So I'll kind of go. He is Florida at 13, Auburn at 19. He has Tennessee at 20 and Kentucky 21, UCF 22, Iowa 23, Oklahoma State 24, Memphis at 25. I mean, I don't think you are. Tennessee is better than those.
Did you read off 17, 18, 19? Will you do that?
So Florida's 13, Wisconsin 14, Michigan 15. North Carolina 16, Miami 17, Virginia Tech 18. Then Auburn, Tennessee.
I think North Carolina's pretty overhyped. I've seen them ranked around the top 15 a couple times.
I did too.
I don't think I like that.
Their quarterback's getting a lot of praise. He was a freshman last year, Sam Howell.
I'm not ready to buy into their hype. I'm sorry.
No. And I wonder if a lot of it has to do with the ACC is just trash.
Probably.
He's got Alabama at 3, Texas A&M at 5. And he's got
I'm not.
LSU 6, Georgia at 7.
Yeah, I'm not willing.
Georgia and LSU are definitely going to be better than Texas A&M, I'll tell you that.
I would agree. With that. So I looked up the Alabama starting quarterbacks. So it was Blake Barnett that transferred in 2016 after getting beat out by Hurts. That was the guy. Sims was a starting quarterback in 2014.
Who was Sim? What was his first name?
Blake Sims. There was Blake.
Sims.
Blake Barnett and Blake Sims. So here's since Kiffin's been a head coach, the quarterbacks for Alabama. John Parker Wilson, Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, Blake Sims, Jake Coker, Cooper Bateman, Blake Barnett, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones. Only technically one of those guys is in the NFL. The other two just got there.
Yeah.
And that's after a drastic change in how he runs his offense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, goes to show you a little bit. Goes to show you.
Yeah, it makes me nervous to have a team ranked number 20 after not even a year ago they lost to BYU and Georgia State. To have that kind of expectation already.
That is, yeah, that's true. I didn't think
Kinda
about
scary.
that. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, you want to get to it?
Yeah, no more hype. Want to talk about? Let's talk about it because I you know what, I kind of want to talk about it. I think that's really the only thing to talk about that's new right now. That's everything. You can make things relevant. This is relevant to Tennessee. So Fox Sports Knox. I think his name's Austin Sanders. I don't think he's on a show, but he's a writer at Fox Sports Knox. I think that's correct. Is he on a show?
I don't think so.
Did a podcast with Chris Weather. We had him on the show. Like I said before, if you weren't here with us at the beginning of this show, I've only had great experiences with Chris. He seems like a great guy. Obviously, he's never done wrong by anything to me, so I have no personal grudges to him.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him hopping on with us and talking about his time at Tennessee. So he did do an interview kind of similar to ours. They dove in a little bit more to the issues that were going on. Whereas that wasn't what we wanted to talk about. We kind of wanted to talk about Chris. We did talk about a couple issues, but not.
Yeah,
that wasn't our intention.
We asked him why that team didn't live up to the expectations.
Yeah,
and he did mention there was a disconnect, and that was. Then he kind of went into depth of what that disconnect was.
Yeah. And so I'd encourage you to go watch that interview because you haven't heard much from Chris. He's not been interviewed a lot since his time at Tennessee. So go listen to that. I think compare them both. I don't think Fox Sports did a bad job. I'm not saying that. I think it's interesting for sure. I think there are some things to, I guess, listen to that people want to know. I don't doubt that. I do have, I guess, some issues, some things I definitely wouldn't have done. I'm not saying I hate Chris for it or anything. I don't. But I think there are some few things that he mentioned that necessarily weren't. And I'm not even talking about the some of the stories necessarily. There's some things involving some certain athletes. One towards the end of the interview. I'm not going to mention it. It's not my place to mention it. That first off, the athletes, at least the athlete's father, completely disputed the rumor that was put out by the media.
Right.
And he went on to, I guess, confirm it, kind of. And that's just not his. Whether it's true or not, it's not your place.
Yeah.
It's not. And that was probably the biggest issue I had. No one had an issue with that. I found that kind of interesting. I guess that people aren't sensitive to those kind of issues, which is fine. No one necessarily. Everyone needs to be aware, but you don't have to be sensitive to it. And there are some things that I'm like, I wouldn't say that about a teammate, at least publicly. I wouldn't say that about a teammate. And then a lot of people are taking issue with the shot settle thing in 2017, and I totally understand that. He wasn't on the team then. I think he would say that he heard it from friends, so he felt like it was okay for him to say, and that's fine. That you know what, he has just as an opinion. Here's the thing too: he has more of an opinion than me, and has just as equal of an opinion as any of the guys that have said he shouldn't have said it.
Right.
I know how I feel about it, but just the same. His opinion matters as much as a couple guys that have spoken out about it are Khalil McKenzie, Alexis Johnson. I think Nigel Warrior mentioned something, and Kendall Vickers maybe. Yeah. I think tweeted about it. They have the same. They're on the same level as far as I'm concerned. They both played there. They both kind of shared stories or shared time there. So I think they have the same kind of right to tell those, I guess. Would they tell them? Obviously, they said they wouldn't, and that's fine. That's their choice.
Yeah, you got to respect it. Those who want to talk about it, cool. Those who don't want to talk about it, that's their choice. They don't have to talk about that. I mean, some locker room talk, we played high school football, and some of that locker room talk you share with your buddies.
Right.
But a lot of people maybe don't need to know every bit of it.
Right.
But I think a lot of what he said was stuff, if you follow Tennessee, you already knew.
That too. And what's funny, did you know about the Jancic thing that was mentioned at the beginning of the interview? So apparently Jancic stood up in a meeting. They were having some kind of team meeting. Had to be. Was he fired before the bowl game or after the bowl game? See, I couldn't remember. I should have looked it up now that I'm thinking about it. But apparently Jancic stood up and Butch Jones was like, "You're the dumbest mother effer I've ever met," and that's when he was fired. I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't aware.
Austin Sanders said it in the interview like it was biblical truth. So I guess it's known fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff like he talked about, everybody already knew.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then there were some opinionated things that I'm just like, I don't know if I say, like, and then, again, it's Chris's choice. Whatever. Like, we're talking about it, so I'm going to say it. Like the Alvin Kamara was kind of lazy. That's an opinion. There could be plenty of people who don't think he's lazy. Like, that's your opinion. Right. So I don't know if I share that. Which is, it's his opinion. It's his feelings.
But whatever. Alvin Kamara seems like, not lazy, but maybe just like he's just like a chill, and maybe I don't know if he puts off that vibe, but it seems to me like he just goes with whatever. Like,
I know we had a really good friend who wasn't lazy, but he was so mellow on the soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
That it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And I knew he wasn't lazy, but I was like, kind of the body language thing we talked about with JG. I was like, will you just act like
you want to like
show
care?
some passion?
Yeah.
Like when he showed passion, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was very rare. But yeah, he wasn't lazy. He was probably harder worker than I was. But he definitely had this just very mellow, and he kind of actually, his personality, the little I know about Alvin Kamara, kind of reminds me of him. So that's funny you say that.
And a lot of people were just like, oh, he's shining bad light on the university. I was like, the university that hired Butch Jones?
And that's another thing is, if he's speaking truth, he's not shining a bad light on the university. The university is shining a bad light on the university.
Right, yeah.
If it's true.
The university that hired the guy, the university that kept the guy in charge. And if fans know about it, the university knows about it.
Right.
And if they just let it happen, that's on them.
Yeah, and
that's not Chris Weathers' fault.
Right. And another, like, the only, again, I'm not, like, issue probably is not the right word that I'm taking with it. The only, I guess, concern I have, the Title IX stuff, why do you ask a former player that? He isn't involved in that.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a question that should not have been asked. Kind of put Chris in a tough spot to answer it. I feel like maybe he probably felt like he had to answer. And probably, it seems like he didn't necessarily apologize for that, because he did say, all I said was what I knew about it. I didn't say if the guy did it or didn't. I just said what I knew about it, which is fair. He did. That is right. It's a weird thing to ask a guy it's not his concern. It's not him. He did go on the Swain event today, and he apologized, I guess, for doing things people didn't want him to do necessarily, but he didn't apologize for doing it, which is fine. I don't necessarily think you have to.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize if that's what you think. I mean,
I don't think there was anything. I don't think you slandered it. From what I could tell, it didn't seem like you slandered anybody. Did you maybe say some things that people didn't, that trusted you to know, that they trusted you to know it, and they probably didn't want you sharing with the world? Yeah, maybe, and that's fine. You may have, in their opinion, wronged them, but I don't think it's necessarily, if you didn't lie. If you didn't deceive someone to make them feel, I don't necessarily think you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think there was anything in the interview that came out to me that was like, yeah, he needed to apologize for that. Yeah. I didn't think there was anything like that.
Yeah, the thing that killed me was just like, yeah, the shining bad light on the university. I'm like, dude, they hired him. Oh, they didn't hire him. They hired Dave Hart, who hired him.
They hired him. I mean, they have to check the boxes at the end of the day.
Yeah, they signed the paycheck.
So.
Yeah, I was just like, but I think this is a perfect example because I literally thought Vol Twitter was just gonna have a civil war on Twitter yesterday. But I think
I was kind of surprised at the split. I was, because I thought a lot of people would side with the players that were coming out after Chris Weather. Yeah. I was a little surprised. I think I think you find out more people want the rumors.
Oh yeah.
Which again, like you said, a lot of it most people knew. It was kind of confirmed. Like, oh, I heard this, and then
Right.
it kind of confirmed it.
Yeah.
If he was spilling dirt, I guess he wasn't there in 16. I have a question about something that happened in 2016 that I've heard from people I trust that I want to know if it's true. We can talk about it after the show.
Okay.
I don't necessarily need to share it out here, but I want to know if it's true.
But I think that's a perfect example. Like this whole like tearing Vault Twitter apart is the perfect example of like we shouldn't bring up the Butch Jones era. It just brings a toxic environment, just like he put in that program.
I had a tweet last July, maybe the July before, when Last Chance U came out, and I said I have a feeling that Butch Jones and Jason Brown are a lot alike. And what's funny is in the Chris Weathered interview, he talks about one of the threats he always had was like, I'm gonna send your ass back to Dallas. That's all Jason Brown like really threatened him with.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna send your ass back to wherever you came from. So I was like, oh, that's funny that I said that. Like, yeah. So I was like, oh, well, they are a lot alike, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, spot on, Caleb. You didn't get that one wrong.
But I think if we could just stop talking about it and bringing it up, I think it's going to help a ton. I mean, you remember it. Always remember.
Never forget.
Never forget where we were at and where that program was in shambles.
Right.
And it was a program that, like, you didn't know it was that bad until the 2016 team left.
I'll say this. I do want to keep talking about how bad of a job he did specifically. We don't have to talk about the players, so people don't forget. I have a feeling Butch Jones is laughing, selling his $2.5 million, $3 million house, whatever it was, cutting up his like $500,000 a month paycheck from Tennessee, cutting his $500,000. I don't know. I think he seems like a conceited jerk, so I don't have a problem with bad mouthing him.
Oh no, I don't.
But I'm good with letting the player. You know what?
Yeah, but
what happened
I'm
during
just saying, like, it makes everything so toxic when we talk about Butch Jones because people get mad and, you know, and not necessarily, I don't necessarily think they're mad at Chris Weather. I think they're mad because all that stuff is
it's even happening,
or all that stuff happened.
Right.
So I don't know. I think we should just try to. You remember the Butch Jones. You remember the stupid sayings, the terrible in-game decisions, the stupid haircut, the stupid excuses about everything, and just like praise the man above that we're past that.
Right. Absolutely.
And we have somebody who's just bald, like he doesn't need some stupid haircut that they give away at Great Clips. But
man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I like Chris Weathered. I mean, he came on our show.
Yeah,
I
seems
feel
like
like
a good dude.
he did a good job on our show.
And go listen to the Fox Sports Knox if you're gonna agree with it or not. Because I didn't agree with agree isn't the right word, but like everything I heard necessarily in it. Because some of them like, but I think you need to go listen to it. It's good. It's out there. Might as well go inform yourself and listen. It is entertaining because you do hear a lot of good stories. So I'll give that to Chris. But I think you need to go listen to it. It's definitely interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. I don't know. I don't have anything else for the interview.
No, I mean it is what it is.
Yeah. I'll have Chris Weather back. First off, we'll have any Vol that wants to come on here.
Yeah.
Come on. So come back on anytime you want, Chris. Come back on any Vol if you want. If you want to come on and tell us how much you hate Chris Weather now, I'm not saying we'll agree with you, but if you want to, we'll let you. That's fine. Sam Bell said, "What's up? Is Catfish and Billy in here?" They're not. Make sure you check out their show. Their show's kind of been bouncing around, so I'm not sure what their times are.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, also check out Jarnell Stokes, Alexis Hornbuckle. I almost said Huckle. Hornbuckle. Also check out Picked Off. I think that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just follow us on Twitter. Well, follow Volunteer Roadshow on Twitter, and more important issues on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, and you'll see the live videos pop up whenever they are. Make sure you check out all the shows that Volunteer Roadshow's got. Plenty and new ones coming soon.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. What's up, Aaron Ross? Good to see you back on, man. You're probably gonna be pretty sad when Maryville football doesn't have a season. Sorry. Is that gonna be like their first time not even playing in a state championship in 20 years?
Probably.
The only thing that could keep Maryville from winning or playing in a state championship was a pandemic. That's it.
It's sad.
It is
very sad. So let's
talk about high school football real quick because
Yeah,
I think we have some questions. Do we want to answer those real quick?
I don't have any questions.
No questions? Any questions? Drop them in the chat. We're going to talk about some high school football as TWSAA. They didn't make any definite decisions, so I was joking about the no high school football. They were contingency plans kind of based around the governor's order, what happens when it expires, stuff like that. There's really nothing decided today. That was They did decide on girls soccer contingency plan, but full disclosure, they spent 2 minutes on it, and I don't know what the plan is because they did not spend a lot of time. They were like, this, all right, good. Pass, perfect.
Cool.
It was like, thanks guys thanks for being really concerned about how this worked.
Killed it.
So I think we're set to start September 7th as our first game, maybe our first practice. So
did they decide the football plan is option 2, right?
Well, I think they're gonna probably looks like that. I don't think they had decided. I think if they do, it's gonna go with the hybrid plan, which is I think option 2.
Yeah,
maybe
so
that's option 3.
that was 8 regular season games, and then the top 2 teams in the region winner and the region runner up go to the playoffs. So instead of 32 teams in the playoff, there's 16.
Gotcha.
So
I don't know. We'll
that'll
see.
be interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it will be.
Because there's some teams that get hot.
Yep.
I mean, I think Central a couple of years ago they wouldn't have got in.
I think Central this year they may have gotten in, but they were a lower seed. Central, not the year they won the state championship, their first. The year before that, though, I think they were like 6-4 team going into the playoffs and went to the semifinals.
And they beat Fulton.
They beat Fulton and then lost to Catholic.
Maybe.
Is that what it was?
And Catholic a couple years ago had a bad record, and they turned it on and won a state championship.
Yeah, so you're right. Teams definitely get hot. And you know what? It is kind of part of the game, too, in terms of just how it's part of the season. Like, you're not necessarily granted the season. You always were. There were probably a couple teams a few years ago that when Powell forfeited their season, they probably put them in the playoffs. So they probably were expecting to hang up the pads week 10.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're playing again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they advanced past the first round or anything. I don't know how it played out, but I'm sure there had to at least be one team on the edge that got bumped in because of that.
Right.
So, Aaron Ross said they don't always play in the state. Okay, I was exaggerating. I realize that, but
pretty much
38-0 to Oakland in the semis in 2018. 18 had to be. Was there another time, Aaron? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I keep up with Maryville. I think everybody in East Tennessee keeps up with Maryville.
Yeah. Winningest program in Tennessee.
Yeah, because I think everybody at least respects George Quarles. I don't know. I've never met anyone who's been like, dude, George Quarles is a dick.
Yeah.
Like there's high school football coaches that are good coaches around East Tennessee that you'll meet people that went to school there or played them or have watched their program for a long time. They're like, man, I hate that guy. I've never heard anyone say that about George Quarles.
And dude, I really like Derek Hunt.
I do like Derek Hunt. I met him once. Great guy.
Yep.
And he seems to be kind of doing his own thing too, while also kind of keeping the tradition.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. Yeah, I like what's going on at Maryville. I mean, I think if anybody could send their kids to Maryville City Schools, I think they would.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think they would.
Let's talk about the basketball.
I was about to say we almost skipped over the basketball team.
Yeah,
they returned, and you're not. Speaking of hype, you're not bought into the Pawns returning yet.
I'm not, because I thought Bone was coming back too, and it didn't.
That's fair. I think that decision came down to a lot more than just basketball, though. I do.
Yeah, and I think Pawns is like, if he's drafted, he's gone. If not, then he's coming back. I mean I think that's the only two things that can happen. I think it's October 16th is the draft.
Okay.
17th, 16th, 17th.
I feel like that. So what's going to be the rule? Do you know with NCAA what's going to be the rule then? Like, and how they return? Because that means they would have already started practicing with their college teams if they don't know yet.
If they don't get drafted, they can come back to school.
Period. If they get drafted and opt not to go? Or is it you're drafted, you got to go?
I think if it's drafted, you have to go.
Okay. Gotcha. That's interesting. And so I guess he'll have to decide before that date if he's even going to put his name in. Because he's gonna get drafted, I think.
Well, I mean, the thing with him is like, even if he wanted to come back to school, if he got drafted and wanted to come back to school, I mean, how much is Pawns gonna improve his game over a year and be like, he's gonna have to be like a 20-point scorer, and I just don't see that out of him.
Right.
I don't think he improves his stock up from a second round to a first round. I just don't see that in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially with the NBA draft where it's just 2 rounds. If you're drafted, I think you got to go.
Yeah.
And then I think the thing about Pawns, I think he's just going to wow a lot of people with his athleticism. And that's all pro scouts buy into anymore is how high can you jump, how fast can you run. He's going to freak people out.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in a workout when there's no one else around to contest him and he's just putting his freaking head in the rim. Yeah, he's going to.
Yeah, when
He's
they
going
get
to
a
freak people
7-footer try to do like a jump hook over him and he jumps out of and grabs it with one hand and pulls it down, yeah, that's going to be like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah,
Can you throw the ball in the hoop? Is that, can you do that? If you can, then hey, you're hired.
Yeah, you're going to be good. And he seems like he can. You just need some more confidence.
Dude, the ticket looked like he got a little bigger.
But here's the thing I was about to say. Can't leave out, because I don't think he gets enough credit like the football strength conditioning coaches do.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Mendenwald, though, he's been here, I think, the entire time with Rick Barnes, and he has. And the dude does a phenomenal job. I realize guys like Pons have always looked like freaks, but, I mean, you're talking about guys, John Fulkerson's bulked up a little bit, as much as his body will allow, probably.
Yeah.
You're talking about guys like, Devontae Gaines desperately needed to gain some weight. Josiah looked like he saw a little transformation in his first year.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when you look at guys, and I think Grant and Admiral are always going to be a little bit of anomalies because their work ethic's so much higher than everyone else's. Mm-hmm. But still, you needed the right program to work under, and he provided that.
Yeah, and I like seeing the new guys. You saw some Keon Johnson, Corey Walker, Jaden Springer, E.J. Anasicki.
Keon Johnson is apparently the best player in the gym right now.
That's what I've heard.
It's a rumor. I'm telling you the rumor.
I heard Victor Bailey is up there too.
That's the rumor. Keon Johnson and Victor Bailey starting. Who would have thunk it?
Dude, what if we don't have basketball?
We have to have basketball. Right? Wear mask. Wear mask during the game for all I care.
Yeah, for real.
Because this could be the year. If Pons comes back, if you have Pons and E.J. Anasicki, and I'll say it, I don't like it, but I'll say it, Fulkerson.
I mean,
and then you're talking about
baby.
If Keon Johnson's the best player in the gym right now, and he's playing against the guys that we've seen, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, and if
that he's gonna be top 5 in the SEC.
So last year you beat Kentucky.
Yeah,
I mean, and you get 3 guys that are better than the guys you had last year.
Sign me up. Let's buy our Final Four tickets, man.
Let's get it.
I mean, golly, dude.
We need to make it past the Sweet 16 first.
Ooh, that's gonna piss me off. So we were talking about that the other day, how this could be our best basketball team, and basketball might get canceled.
Yeah, that's
okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to preemptively take our names. We care about the health of our student athletes and the health of others. We're gonna go ahead and withdraw our name from the NCAA final. We'll call it the tournament just for fun, like Duke did.
Yeah.
Just so you know that.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Oh man, that'll be so sad.
So stupid.
What if football? Because like you're probably not playing the college football playoff this year, even if you have a season. What if like we go freaking 10-2, 11-1, and you're like, all right, if they win the SEC championship game, they would go to the college football playoff. Oh, fun fact, we're not, since there's no out of conference games, we're not playing the college football playoff.
Oh, you best believe I'm claiming it. I'm claiming everything.
Alabama's already claimed it in case that happens. Okay,
that's probably true. And so is UCF. If there's not a season, they got shirts already made.
Right. That kind of seems like the thing though that would happen to Tennessee. Like we shouldn't be 11-1 this year. We shouldn't be. But if it was going to be a year, it'd be this year.
Oh yeah, 2020.
No, what we'll do is we'll go freaking 10-0 in SEC play if they move to 10 conference games. That's exactly what will happen.
I don't want to think about it.
I'm going to make you think about it. I'm going to send you text every night. Be like, hey, what if Tennessee went 11-1? What if they went 10-0 in SEC play? It'd be fun.
I consume so much alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to. I think it's something you had to do. It's part of the requirements.
Because like the first one's always the wildest. But if you win, you got to keep doing it.
Right. Yeah.
So
no, there's no doubt.
You want to get to our new segment?
Yeah, I do. So I don't know if I said the name of it. So this is our new segment. It's called Florida Man. It's just gonna be, you all know, everybody knows the articles. Florida Man.
Yeah.
Florida Man kills iguana with steak knife. Whatever. Some crazy headline. That's not my headline for the day. But that probably, I made that up actually on the spot, but that's probably a headline that you would see accompanied with Florida man or Florida men. I'm going to post, let's see if I can get this picture up. I've got a great picture of some beautiful, beautiful Florida men. Let's see if I can get it here. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture. They are they might be wearing jorts. It cuts it off.
Yeah, I think there's a. It's probably fair to assume.
I would assume there are jorts. I will give them credit. Great beer selection in the Natty Light. Good game day. I assume they're at a game, but they're also in Florida, so you never know.
They're just walking to Walmart.
Yeah, they could be doing God knows what on Daytona Beach. Yeah, but this is our new segment called Florida Man, or in this case, Florida Men. I'll say this. That's the worst knockoff jersey I've ever seen in the back left corner here, in that guy or girl.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That person might be gender fluid.
That looks like a SCLSU.
Is that Bobby Boucher's? Yeah. I want one of those jerseys. I want one of those helmets. Did you see where somebody did I think they did mini helmets. Yeah. I'd buzz for this. What's your Florida Man headline for today? Also, share us, so if you follow closely with the news stuff, share us any of the Florida Man headlines you've seen.
I saw where they're trying to get rid of that. They're trying to get Florida to stop doing that.
So I think what we're going to have to start doing is looking up State Man.
Oh, okay.
Same thing, just replace state. The word Florida and state are synonymous.
Gotcha. So this one says, a Florida man got hot and heavy with a frozen toy.
Interesting. Show up in the ER or something in his butt?
No. So, we can read their names. They're in jail for doing this stupid stuff. So Cody Christopher Meter allegedly had his way with a stuffed snowman Olaf from the popular Disney flick.
Oh, when you said frozen, I thought you meant like he stuck it in the freezer.
Oh, no.
It's like, I need this to be, hard.
And cold.
Yeah, of course. That's what everybody wants.
But no, it was Olaf.
God, what the what? I mean, I get it. Watching that thing sing might get you excited, but come on, man.
This is kind of graphic. I don't know if I should.
Yeah, don't read it all. Just give us the cliff notes.
But so he gets done with his doll, puts it back on the shelf, and then starts dry humping a stuffed unicorn.
Like in front of people?
In Target. In St. Petersburg.
That is awesome. I'm trying to imagine where you got seen. That I would have never picked Target. I would have picked Walmart probably. Or Kmart. Big Lots seems like a possibility.
Yeah.
That's insane. Wow. Mine is not as good as that. How long ago was that? So I picked one from this week, to be fair.
It was December 7th of 2019.
Okay. Not that long ago.
No.
It's pretty new.
He remains free on $150 bond.
That seems like a low bond for a guy dry humping a unicorn.
And
keep that man in jail forever.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into any more details. I'll tell you later. But
I got I don't have a name. I'm sorry. I do. Timothy cannot pronounce that. Godjica. He was arrested for reckless driving, trying to scare kids. So he was arrested for child neglect, DUI, and possession of marijuana. He was pulled over in Okaloosa County. Obviously, those two things are terrible. That's not really the point I want to make. So he's pulled over, and at some point in this traffic stop, he tells the officers that he was just trying to scare the kids. They were acting terrible, and he was just trying to scare them. Which I'm assuming his incredible, just intelligent line of thinking is like, this officer will understand where I'm coming from. Like an officer showed up to investigate child abuse charges. He's like, I was just spanking my kid. He's expecting the same thing. Like, they're being shitheads. I'm trying to scare them straight.
Yeah,
sir, you have had 15 beers in the last 2 hours. That's not okay. I'm just. He's like, officer, you'll understand. You have kids. I'm trying to scare him. You do this. We do this all the time. Throw him in the back seat. Drive around the neighborhood a couple times. Maybe on the interstate once. You get it, right?
Yeah. Strap him to the hood.
What in the world? What in the world is going through? It's Florida.
Yep.
It's Florida. There were some good Tennessee headlines. I thought about maybe adding to this. You might have to do some more research, but maybe Florida man and Alabama woman, because there are some Alabama woman fantastic headlines. Yeah, there's some good ones.
I haven't read many of those.
Yeah, they're not as popular as the Florida ones. They mostly involve Walmart. Most of the incidents happen at Walmart. God bless. Yeah. It's pretty great. No story as great as the breakup that you told last episode, but...
Oh, God. Oh, my Lord.
James Priest said he's in Kingsport, Tennessee. Nice. Good to have some Tri-Cities people in here.
Yeah.
I'm up in Johnson City all the time, man.
JC.
It's not Kingsport, but Tri-Cities. You get it.
Yeah, you get it. Stupidity's an epidemic.
Stupidity.
I got one. So a girl made a TikTok, and it's some song where if you clap, it like puts a thing in a category.
Uh-huh.
So her category is best basketball players ever. This is her list. Number 1, James Harden. Number 2, Kawhi Leonard. Number 3, Allen Iverson. Number 4, Kevin Durant. Number 5, LeBron. 6, Magic Johnson. 7, Kobe. 8, Shaq.
Who is number 1?
James Harden. I'm like, somebody tweeted was just like, can we cancel TikTok forever?
Well, the president's trying to, so
Yeah.
maybe it's possible. My first one is the people who Barstool tweeted this. Not even a mask can stop PDA. The 2 people at a bar in Ocean City, Maryland, making out with mask on, which I guess they weren't making out. Did you see that?
No,
that video?
I didn't.
I don't have the video. I'll see if I can find it. I mean, they were going at it
With masks on?
with mask on. They were not holding back.
Doesn't make
It was
any
not,
sense.
even with mask on, it was not a kid-friendly scene.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm very confused. Very confused.
So my next one is Antonio Brown.
Did he retire?
He retired. He did all this work to come back, and
Was he going to sign with Tampa? Was that the thought?
I don't know. But this is what he tweeted. It is time to walk away. I done everything in the game. At this point, the risk is greater than the reward. Thank you, everyone who've been part of this journey. I sincerely thank you for everything. Life goes on. 84. I'm just like, why? Why do all that work to come back? Why do videos of you working out with your old helmet on,
Right.
and then just say you're walking away? Did no one want to sign you, and that's why you're just like,
I'm going to go with that's probably the right answer.
I'm walking away.
Yeah,
it was my choice. No one wanted to sign you because
Like-
you're a freaking head case.
Did you see the tweet about, so someone tweeted like, who's the best athlete in the world? Wrong answers only. And I was like, the guy on my high school football team that quit because the coach hated him.
Yeah.
Like those guys were like, I didn't play because coach hated me, so I quit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with your inability to even see a tackle and try to make one.
If you start a story off like, oh, did you play sports in high school? If you start off with, I did, but me and my coach didn't get along. Like, you weren't good at sports. That was fact.
I can't find the video to show you, so I'm going to hold off. My next one, though, and I meant to mention it when we did recruiting because first Andy, now the Vols may have lost another key recruiter.
This dude's such a moron.
It's so sad, dude. I hate to see good recruiters leave. Matt Daniel, rip. He has been an 8+ year season ticket holder, a donor to the University of Tennessee. And even coaches have come up to him and said that we need all the help we can get, which I want to say is probably true. Like in terms of like, he was probably at an event and he said something like, yeah, I made graphics for Tennessee. And the coach was not going to be a dick to his face. He's probably like, yeah, man, we need all the help we can get. In his head, he's probably like, yeah, you're a douche.
Yeah. And then he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm with Tennessee.
He probably didn't say it. If he's really a donor, then he's probably been to events and has probably met coaches and shook their hands.
No, if he's a donor, he gives a donation for his season tickets. That's what I give.
And maybe that's what he means. I don't know. But if that's real. But now he's all offended because Clay Bollinger DM'd him and was like, quit doing this shit. And it was, I don't know what the link was. It was to a Raheem Jarrett tweet. And then 6 months later, DM'd him again and said, don't tweet at me. So I don't know what that, I'm curious what that other tweet was that invoked don't tweet at me.
Yeah,
I want the drama.
You're DMing
I need the drama.
15, 16, 17-year-old
That's creepy,
kids, and
creepy.
you're mad that somebody cussed at you on Twitter? Really? That's what you're worried about?
Oh, dude, he's a weird dude.
Golly.
Weird fella. Yeah, that's...
I don't know. What in your right mind?
And all
thinks,
he's done is help promote the program in a positive way on Instagram and Twitter. Hey, speaking of stupidity, Chad still owes me money from the Super Bowl, so I'm going to call him. Is that okay with you?
You going to call him on the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want everybody to know that he owes me $40. I forgot about this till just now again. I forgot about it until...
Hey, Caleb.
Hey, man, you're on the show, so you're being recorded and live. I want you to know that.
What's up?
Hey, you know you still owe me $40 from the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I just wanted everybody that listens to this to know that. So
I know.
I'm going to use my platform to publicly shame you.
I think I currently have maybe $7 in my bank account.
All right, well,
So you need 33.
Hey, Landon, can I borrow $33?
hey, are those people who are working you to death in Nashville? They can't pay you?
It's an internship, Caleb.
Because I'm irresponsible with my money, I just give it all to a third party.
Your mom?
And so I can't touch it.
Will you just say that your money goes in your mom's bank account for us?
My money goes into my mom's bank account.
You know what? If I would gladly do that because I'm terrible with my money too. But yeah, I'm gonna publicly shame you for a while because $40 will, you know, it'll be a night out drinking. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna publicly shame you.
Shame.
Here's the good news.
I deserve it. So thanks for going through all my old tweets and seeing that I tweeted that screenshot of my mom's text.
Dude.
And that's what reminded you.
I was legit looking for a video of UGA Ray doing the what was it? It makes me sick.
He's off his rocker lately. He's like, I thought he was already off the deep end, but he's gotten even worse. Where he's just throwing footballs in his backyard.
I tried to go Instagram live with him. He wouldn't let me. Landon won't let me have him on.
No, I do not want him on the show. No way.
I'm gonna do an interview with him by myself.
Will you guys have Andy on?
I don't think he's blocked me on all of my accounts on Twitter.
Even your burner?
Yeah, especially my burner. I've got ways though. I found that video of him doing the Rocky, or I put in the Rocky theme song.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah. I'll send you the GIF I made of him too. I got a good GIF.
Oh no.
All right, man. Well, I love you, even though I'll have to, cut your hand off or whatever loan sharks do.
All right.
Man.
Well, I'll get it to you.
Hey, I'm gonna call you after. Are you gonna be free in like 30 minutes?
Sure.
All right. I'll call you in a minute.
All right, bye.
Bye. That's Chad Mitchell. I love him. He's actually been on the show before.
He has been on the show.
Like for a whole show.
Yeah, that was cramped.
It was. He's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
We need to have him back on. That's actually, you know what? We just have a segment where we call Chad and just talk crap to him.
Yeah, we should.
It's easy to talk crap to Chad.
Yeah. I have one more stupidity, and it's Jared Carabas, who he's with Barstool. I don't remember what show he actually does.
It's
Maybe
the baseball
Starting
one.
Nine.
Yeah, something like that. It's one of the baseball ones.
But he's a big Red Sox fan, so
Of course.
Mookie hit a home run the other night. Mookie Betts, who plays for the
He
Dodgers.
signed a big contract.
So that's where I'm getting. So Jared said, enjoy your 60 games with him, thinking he's coming back.
Yeah, didn't he sign like a 6-7 year
Then he
deal?
signed a 13-year deal
13 years?
with the Dodgers.
380 million?
2032.
380 million? Is that what it was?
Yeah, 380 million. Yep.
That is
13
weird. How much guaranteed? Do you have it?
years.
Real quick. That $380 million. I want everyone to go into an Excel sheet, and I want you to put in $380 million, and I want you to try to spend it like legitly. Like, I want you to buy whatever houses you want to buy, whatever cars you want to buy, and be realistic. Because like I could spend $380 million if I needed to.
Yeah.
But I want you to be realistic in it. Like, how many houses do you need? Could have, blah, blah, blah. You're not even going to touch $380 million.
No way.
If I was like tasked with spending it, I could. You could buy a ton of houses with it. But like, 3 or 4 houses in different countries. Buy your own effing island. You're not going to spend $380 million.
No, it's a lot.
There's no chance.
It's insane. Yep. So
Dude, good for him though.
So his it's combined with his 1-year deal, so it's 13 years, $392 million.
So why did the Red Sox let him go? Is it a cap issue? What was it? I didn't even know he was gone from the Red Sox till like a couple days ago.
I don't really know I don't even think Red Sox fans
Knew it.
understand. Like, that was their best player.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Good for him though. So the Dodgers should be a team to kind of look out for, right?
Yeah, they're one of the favorites to win the World Series.
Yeah. I mean that definitely makes sense. That's crazy, dude.
That's all I got though.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up guaranteed before we get off here because I'm gonna go with it's an absurd amount of money.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That he probably got on day one. Where does all that money come from in baseball? Because aren't they like apparently hurting for money? Or they're hurting for fans, but the money's getting bigger and bigger. It doesn't make sense.
Well, most of the owners are just rich, like,
Yeah,
freaks that don't care.
that's true, I guess. So it looks like 32 million is guaranteed. 16 of which is paid by Boston.
Wow.
It says that his contract's guaranteed, so like all of his money's guaranteed.
I don't know what that means.
It says Betts is the only fourth guaranteed contract on the roster. The others are Max Muncy, AJ Pollock, and
Maybe it is.
That's only 3 people. That's crazy. That is absurd. So they have like 2 big time. I don't know what Betts bats, but I mean that's 2 big time bats on your team with Bellinger and like big time.
Yeah, and then you got Kershaw.
I'm about to go put money on them to win the World Series. I bet our odds are really good though.
Yeah, they are.
So,
Yeah, it's like them and the Yankees are like the top ones.
what's Toronto gonna do?
I heard they're trying to have some of their games in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh apparently said no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, I have no clue what they're gonna do.
Move to Nashville.
I guess.
Do it.
You know what? Do that. Weren't they? Was it?
But Nashville's like a hot zone, so
Yeah, I probably don't do that. What team was it? Was it Tampa Bay that they were talking about a potential move to split the team between 2 cities? Nashville and who? Who was the other city?
Was it Montreal?
Maybe. That kind of sounds right.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a really lame deal.
Yeah, that would not be great. I mean, you're basically on the road the entire time.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be fun. See, we talk about other sports besides just college football in here. It's just primarily college football. That's. Oh, excuse me, guys. I do appreciate you hopping
Give the
on.
people
Though.
what they want.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's been a long episode, but I think it's been fun. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And we'll be back on Sunday doing more position previews, talking about whatever's relevant. Keeping up with the Kardashians. That's what Chris Weatherd said it was like. So I guess that's kind of what should we just rename our show Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I think might be
that's what Tennessee athletics is like.
Some copyright stuff that we'd have to
We'll work on it.
go through.
We'll work on it. We can call
Kim, Kanye,
I was gonna go with the boyfriend that
Rob,
No.
uh,
The dude, the Laker. Oh my gosh.
Lamar, Odom.
Yeah, Lamar. We can call Lamar Odom with his permission. But no, guys, go like, reshare, retweet this, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow not just More Important Issues, but also Volunteer Roadshow. You'll find all the content on their Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you go check that out. And hey, we're on Instagram. I meant to go live right before this to remind people to watch. We'll go live right after, and they can watch it later.
Okay.
Or not live, but post a video.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to get more. I'm not a big Instagrammer. You're not really either.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not.
trying to get more into it. I'm trying, guys. I promise.
Sometimes I like, oh man, I haven't posted in like 4 months. I
Yeah.
need to post something.
I haven't posted in
So people don't
at
think
least
I'm
a month, almost 2 months.
Yeah,
So
kind of grown out of it a little bit.
I've never like even been huge into it. I mean, I've had it for.
Yeah.
I have a lot of posts, but I've had it since like 2012.
Right.
So I don't know.
That's all we got,
That's it. That's all I've got.
guys. Go get your cigar because
Yes.
by October 23rd, is that
23rd is the game's on the 24th.
okay? So
But
yeah,
midnight-
so yeah, by that night you should have your cigar. You
Yeah.
should already be talking yourself into a win.
And if you don't have it, call me on the 23rd. We'll go to Smokies together.
Yep. So we got Bring the Boat in, and we out.